Good morning. My name is Josh Baumgartner, Senior Vice President of Strategy at the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank the viewers for tuning in to our 2018 candidate interview series. At the Chamber, our mission is to serve our members and enhance our community by building business success. A key partner or partners in helping to build that success are our elected officials, and that's why we're so excited to be embarking on this process. And why we're excited to have Ray Chiaramonte joining us today. Ray is a candidate for County Commission in District 7. Ray, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for providing this opportunity.
Absolutely. We're glad to do it. And we're going to jump into the questions here shortly, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to give us a snapshot of your campaign and tell us why you're running.
Okay. I've loved this community since I was a child. My family's been here since 1906. Can't imagine ever living anywhere else. I'm running for countywide District 7, which includes, of course, all the cities. I've been a planner in this community for 40 years. I started at the Planning Commission as a draftsman, worked my way up to Assistant Director, 1996, Director of the MPO in 2009, and Director of the Planning Commission in 2012, went on to become TBARTA, Tampa Bay Area Regional Transit Authority Executive Director in 2015. I believe I have the experience, leadership, and passion to really make a difference and move us off the dime, especially in our transportation issue.
Perfect. Well, thanks for that. And hearing your resume and your background, transportation is obviously something that you're very familiar with. And it's also something that the business community is desperate to see some improvements in transportation.
Yes.
As you may have seen, the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce has taken a position in support of a catalyst project, bus rapid transit, connecting 3 counties, but obviously running through Hillsborough County. Do you support bus rapid transit as a catalyst project?
I absolutely do. I have most of my career been a rail supporter, but really looking at the reality of our geography, the bay, the conservation areas we're having, our first project needs to be some type of rubber-tired rapid transit. I think FDOT, the Florida Department of Transportation, will help us create that space for it as they modernize the interstate. We need to take advantage of that, and that does need to be our first catalyst project. I've worked with the Department of Transportation at TBARTA, and we need to move forward. It's time to move ahead. It's one of our weakest, positions to compare ourselves to other metropolitan areas with our transit system.
Great. Sticking with transportation for a minute, I'm sure you've seen there's some momentum, a grassroots effort to get a 1-cent sales tax increase on the ballot in November. Is that an initiative? Is that a movement that you support as a candidate?
I want to really understand what they're asking for, but I do support that. I support it because it gets people aware of what the problem is. Getting it on the ballot's important. If you don't agree with it when it's on the ballot, then you can vote against it, and we can get a lot of information as to why the community didn't want it, which was helpful when we had our referendum back in 2010, is understanding what the community said. They wanted us to be more incremental. This is exactly what this project would do, more incremental.
Great. Switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about education. So our K-12 system here in Hillsborough County has had some wins in the last couple of years. Graduation rates are doing well. They rank as one of the top large school districts in the nation. But there are some challenges ahead as well, including some funding challenges, especially as Hillsborough County continues to grow. How would you, as a county commissioner, work with the school board and with the superintendent's office to make sure that we're setting up the next generation of workforce through our K-12 system here in Hillsborough County?
Well, I do think we need to work with the school board better than we have in the past. Certainly there's things county commission deals with, like where sidewalks are, how kids can walk to school. We have a Head Start program that is kind of jointly done with the county in some areas with the school board. I think we need to merge that better to get more bang for our buck. I'm very concerned about the graduation rate. I think getting children off to a positive start in school is critical. Statistics show that people in the Head Start program do well to about 3rd grade, then they start kind of falling back to where other children are. We need to fix that. We need some type of program to go through their whole school experience and help them. We need definitely, though, more technical training. I think we've kind of dropped the ball on that. Everybody doesn't go to college, and we know our college percentage here is in the high 20s, which is lower than a lot of our other metropolitan areas. So we need to work together on that. This is a critical issue here. There's about 5 issues that are really important. Education is absolutely one.
Perfect. If elected, you would be a part of a county commission that would likely have to make a pretty big decision on a ballpark in Ybor. You know, when we talk about the Rays, A, do you support that site location in Ybor? And B, what kind of finance package would you be willing to support in order to fund that ballpark?
Well, I absolutely do support that location. I think it's a great location. I have my entire career thought that area for some type of sports facility, even when they were looking for the Buccaneers Stadium, I thought that was a better location. It kind of fills in the gap and ties our historic district to our downtown. I could see people, you know, working, saying, hey, let's go to a ball game tonight, and it's right down the street. As far as financing goes, I think we need to do something that's fair to the community. I think there should be some public participation, but I don't think they should be paying for the majority of it. I honestly believe that we can be creative and work something out. We need to look at what the benefits of that would be toward the public sector, and really the public contribute in a way that's balanced. Planners are very data-driven. I don't think it's rocket science. You can look at the numbers and see where you can show if it comes out more of a benefit to the community, and that some level of percentage of the public should participate in.
Okay. So as we wrap things up, we've talked about Ray's Ballpark, we've talked about transportation, education, and the funding pie is only so big, so at some point you have to prioritize. So for you, what would be your number one priority? Maybe it's something we've talked about, maybe it's something we haven't talked about.
My number one priority is absolutely our transportation system. I have seen, especially since the recession, it's kind of ended, get worse than it's ever been before. We have a number of real hotspot areas we need to address. The interchange in the West Shore District, our downtown interchange, which, by the way, I believe can be modified without hurting historic neighborhoods. We can be creative. We can have a win-win situation. We have other areas in South County like Big Bend and I-75 that need to be fixed, but we need to move forward with a better transit system. Our per capita funding for transit is much lower than Orlando or Jacksonville, most other areas in the country. We've just got to get better. We've got to get people access to jobs other than the neighborhood they live in. We're going to be successful.
Great. Well, Ray, I want to thank you for joining us today. I also want to obviously thank you for your willingness to run for office and to potentially serve. So thanks again.
Thank you very much for giving me a chance to talk about the issues.
Absolutely.